Billie Dumaliang. I am the Advocacy Director and a trustee at the Masungi Georeserve Foundation. First, we conserve the Masungi karst ecosystem together with its prehistoric limestone formations and geology, and of course, its unique biodiversity. Almost 500 or more than 500 different flora and fauna have been documented here, including endangered species and unique species, like the JC's vine, the Philippine hawk eagle, and our very own microsnail, the HL masungiensis. So we really contribute to the SDG goal of life on land in reversing deforestation and also restoring landscapes. So that is one of our main activities. But in 2017, we expanded our work to reforestation of the watershed around us. So we tried to reforest parts of the Upper Marikina watershed and the Kaliwa watershed, which then contributes to other sustainable development goals, such as clean water and partnerships for the goals. And so we're very, very excited to be able to contribute to the SDGs in these two ways, mainly in these two ways. So I think personally, I got involved since I was really raised to be a nature lover. My dad actually, as a civil engineer, started a lot of the conservation efforts in this area in the early 2000s. So when I was a child, I would go with him to go to Masungi and also the neighboring mountains to explore and also commune with nature. So it was very natural for me after a brief stint in the corporate sector to go into conservation. And thankfully, it's such a rewarding role to be able to do conservation side by side with geotourism and education. So things that we really enjoy and love. My team has contributed a lot to the field of ground-based or area-based conservation in the Philippines, where it's not just policy, or it's not just about communications, but ultimately it's about what we do on the ground. So having our rangers on the ground 24/7, being able to create a system of ranger stations and systems of mitigating threats in such a large areas. I think those are some of our big impacts, that we have been gaining a lot of achievements in terms of on-the-ground conservation, restoring thousands of hectares and hundreds of hectares of previously degraded land, and effectively battling threats through not just physically, but of course through the power of community building and coalition building. So I think sustainable development is all about the balance between progress and taking care of our planet and people. So kaya nga sinatawag na development because it is still about progress. But how do you develop in such a way that doesn't compromise future generations or the health of the planet, which is at the end of the day our shared home. So in our work, we encounter a lot of these challenges because some people and some entities do not see things in the long term as the sustainable development goals do. And so there is a bias towards quick gains, extractive industries, and destructive activities such as quarrying and land use changes in our area, which is actually a wildlife sanctuary and a national geological heritage. So when you see those things happening where it is obviously based on the principle of the SDGs, not in line with the SDGs, then it's something that we often speak about. And now, actually, another example of a challenge is a potential wind farm threat on the karst formations, the karst ecosystem, which we find to be very dangerous, in terms of not being able to maintain the balance between development and our environmental preservation. So those are just samples of challenges that we encounter on a day-to-day basis. There are many stigmas because we're often out in the field. We are out talking to so many different sectors of society, from community members to government officials to enforcement officials. And so, the same discrimination happens where they see a woman and they don't take us seriously, or they focus on the outside looks of a woman, or they undermine your efforts. So yeah, we encounter that as well. Yung misogyny on the ground, and also underestimating what we can do as women. So I think we kind of try to change the perception of women by really trying to be strong about our principles and our advocacies, and just not being afraid to speak out when we can. And sometimes that frightens them, but it's also how we can uplift other women who might experience the same discrimination or the same bias against ourselves. In terms of reforestation, we collaborate through working with different institutions, companies, schools, to be able to work together on reforestation, whether that's through training or funding or volunteers or manpower, or any other form of support. We as an organization are very open and have been very active in engaging partners from different sectors to do that, because again, it is a huge project and we know that we can't do it without a larger community behind us. And second, I think we engage different sectors through our campaigns. As mentioned, we've had campaigns against quarrying in the watershed. We've had campaigns against land grabbing, and we are now running a campaign against unsustainable energy development. And so it's been all about engaging much more than our own team members, and much more than our own locality, but actually engaging nationally and also internationally has been very crucial to our role. Well, I think actually I've seen a research that the Philippines is actually doing better than a lot of other countries in terms of having women in leadership positions. So I think that is my hope for women in the Philippines, to be able to be represented at the levels of decision making and the rooms where decisions happen. And I think that's how we can uplift and inspire more women. So when I talk to young girls about our work and about youth empowerment in general, I really tell them to look for women role models, who have navigated these challenges for so many years, but have inspired us and who have become beacons and icons of hope and change. Women in the Philippines are yung ilaw ng tahanan, di ba? We are teachers in our own households. We are very present in a child's primary years and growing up years, and we have a lot of say in terms of how a household is run. And I firmly believe that to be able to uphold and promote the sustainable development goals, we must start from the home and we must start from the family. So I think it's another way in our society for women to be able to advance the sustainable development goals. I think if women are empowered, then the family, the children will be empowered and hopefully grow into sustainable development goals advocates and actors in the future. So I really believe in that. I really believe in education and being able to empower women and unlocking their potential in this space.